They say each symbol mimics the act of cosmogenesis, the act of creation that the Christians call Genesis. So in the depth of every symbol is the mystery of how this universe is created. To correctly use each symbol, we first need to know how this universe is created, to fully understand what's in the depths of each symbol we're gonna use. In each esoteric discipline, astrology, the tarot card reading. So come with me and let's go through a walk in the depths of each symbol, in the true meaning of the cosmogenesis. Let's see what every tradition say about how this universe was created. Let's go. Let's do this. Welcome. Hey SuperSapienS, how are you doing? This is Adrian. I'm currently in Tom Triplett State Park, the beautiful Georgia state, disturbingly surrounded by gators. You see one, tell me so I can defend myself or fight to the death with one of those Dracos. We're very near to start learning about the main esoteric disciplines, but as we have before said, in order to fully use the symbols we're gonna need to correctly practice these esoteric disciplines, tarot, graphology, astrology, to fully understand the symbols we're gonna need to use them, we have to know what's the depth of every symbol truly says. What we can find in the depth of every symbol, as we have already said, is the creation myth, the cosmogenesis. In philosophy is called the cosmogenic act, the act of creation itself. It's well understood that this creation act only echoes through eternity, one time and another, and that really all what's happening one and again, as once was, is the first act. The cosmogenic act, the first act in the universe, is only repeating itself all along. So let's see, what do every tradition in the world says about creation? What all of them traditionally are unanimous in thinking? Well, every tradition in this world has said about Genesis is approximately this: in the darkest void, in the true abyss of nothingness, the primary god, the primary goddess, the goddess night, which is represented through number 0, goddess 0, the goddess void itself, the nothingness, in her loneliness, achieved or suffered, we don't know, the birth of the spirit, of the light, in the ocean of nothingness, in her very center, as a pupil, as a light pupil that opens in the middle of the night, in the middle of the dark, light emerged, consciousness, spirit, the hero, number 1. So, goddess 0, the circle of the void, conceived and give birth to a point in the middle of this void, in this nothingness, which is light, a pupil that opens. This is the relation between nothingness and the hero, the being that in all religions has been called the Lord, Sir, God. I wish to say pardon me, please forgive, but my shamanic animal is a little bit upset, so because there are many people walking around and he's very territorial and wants to protect me. It's a Patronus spell that I have just summoned and it's here protecting me. That's what what a good spell does. So let's continue. This is the main relation between 1 and 0 that we can see, obviously, in the binary code. Everything that happens in existence and in essence can be traced back to this relation, the relation between the 0 and the 1. But in all his beauty, his perfection, and his inspiration, light is a secondary manifestation, born from nothingness itself, from the goddess called night, and on which Hebrews call Ein Sof, the sacred vacuum. So, in order to establish a symmetric relation or a relation as equals, nothingness had to degrade into a secondary manifestation to be equal to light and to can relate to him shoulder to shoulder. As nothingness is a primary goddess and light is born in the second place, in order to establish an equal relationship, the void, the sacred goddess night, had to degrade to a secondary manifestation, which we call matter, which is known as the primary feminine goddess in the world. In this secondary manifestation comes to us, to mortals, as the sacred feminine, which is in its fundamental nature, matter, in its elemental nature, corresponds to earth, the earth element. In her category relates to the telluric and the titanic. It's also related to the black color, to the black, to the feminine, okay? Telluric, the titanic, the feminine, the black. So, nothingness degrades into the secondary manifestation, which we call universe, or the plane of manifestation, existence itself, as matter. Then, the primary light also acts within this plane of manifestation. And the light acts here in the existence as the spirit, which in institutional nature we call God. In its elemental nature we call fire, which is related to color white and to the sacred masculine. And comes to us in his virtues as the experience of determination, concentration, unity, inspiration. And his dark side, the dark side of light, if you want to call it, or his negative manifestation would be stubbornness or lack of sensitivity or aberration. On the other hand, the sacred feminine comes to us as affection, connection, sensitivity. In the dark side, in his negative side, comes to us, the feminine, as lability, emotional disorder, chaos, distraction. These two main forces in the universe, these two main artistic instincts, dark and light, correspond to death and life. Dark, the night goddess, the matter, main manifestations are two in this existence, are time and death, which both converge in his son, his titanic son, his main champion, his true defender, the great titanic god Saturn, of which we are going to talk a lot, believe me. Very important and very bad understood god, which almost no one fully understands, really. Recently I published a book which I'm going to link to you, called the Cult of Saturn, or the Saturn Worship, that I truly recommend to you. All this information you can find in that book, obviously. So, the main manifestation of darkness, of the night goddess, are time and death. And the main manifestation of light is life. In his alchemic and sacred relationship, the matter and the spirit, generate nature, like in a temple, and through its champion, Saturn, time itself, the darkness achieves to bring the concept of limit to the creation. So as every manifestation of light is limited in time. That's why we only experience life itself in short cycles, as in our short lives. I think that this, though tragic, it's perfectly understandable, isn't it? That's the cosmogonic act. This is the main act of creation. The way that number one came from the center of void itself, of the wound of the goddess night. This is the act we must fully understand, because from this act and its repetition, everything else, the rest of the sacred numbers of numerology that we're gonna use in tarot and in astrology, sacred geometry, that literally means to measure to measure the earth, the Titanic, the darkness of matter. It's full of these numbers, of the relations that come from that cosmogonic act. Okay, so let's not hurry. Let's stop for now with explain the creation, the cosmogenesis act. Very important, as you'll see. It's so important. This stays very clear to fully understand what comes next. I truly enjoy making these videos. I truly appreciate your effort to pay attention to all this. I wish you are very well. If you like, press the like button. Try to subscribe. If something's good is coming, I can assure you. Be fine, SuperSapienS. Let's see each other in another time.